The transatlantic slave trade was deeply influenced by several Christian papal laws and decrees. For education and documentary reasons, let's explore some key points. 1. Dum Diversas, 1452, issued by Pope Nicholas V. This papal bull granted Portugal the right to enslave any and all people they encountered south of Cape Bojador on the coast of Western Sahara. It repugnantly authorized the Portuguese to engage in large-scale trafficking from West Africa. 2. Romanus Pontifex, 1454. Another papal bull by Pope Nicholas V, this decree further supported Portugal's expansion into Africa. It granted the Portuguese exclusive rights to explore and conquer non-Christian lands, including the enslavement of non-Christians. This laid the groundwork for the transatlantic war against exiled black Hebrews they considered heretics. 3. Later papal bulls. Other papal bulls, such as those by Pope Paul III, continued to illegally sanction the slave trade. In 1548, Pope Paul III declared the slave trade legal in the eyes of the Church, empowering European monarchies to continue their involvement in transatlantic trafficking. However, legal does not mean morally correct. These papal decrees, along with the economic corruption and greed of European powers, contributed significantly to the tragic history of the transatlantic conflict against Afro-Hebraic people. It's essential to recognize this historical context when discussing the impact on black communities and the enduring legacy of systemic racism. Consider the fascinating history of the Portuguese black Hebrews and their connection to the transatlantic slave trade. Between 1441 and 1444, Portuguese navigators invaded the west coast of Africa, captured the first contingents of Israelites on the Mauritanian coast. Most of these captives were Israelites, Moors, and Berbers, but among them were also individuals from Africa who had been brought to the Barbary coast via caravan routes by Muslims. These early slave-raiding expeditions laid the groundwork for a significant shift. The Portuguese diverted one of the trans-Saharan routes to the coast, successfully establishing trade relations with the Berbers. Here are some additional points. Fortified outpost in Arguin. The Portuguese built a fortified outpost in the Bay of Arguin, in present-day Mauritania, from where they sent several thousand slaves to Europe between 1448 and the early 16th century. This outpost became a crucial hub for the transatlantic slave trade. Papal bulls and monopoly. The Portuguese monarchy secured a monopoly over the slave trade along the African coast through the papal bulls issued between 1452 and 1456. These bulls granted the Portuguese crown exclusive authorization to raid and trade Hebrews, who they called Negro de la Guinée, unlike other European powers. Cabo Verde and São Tomé. When King João II of Portugal aimed to establish trading posts along the African coast, the project faced challenges. However, the archipelagos of ***, Cabo Verde ***, and São Tomé and Príncipe *** emerged as important entrepôts for the trade between Africa and Europe. Direct connection to the New World. When the Spanish king authorized a direct connection between African markets and Central America from 1518 onward, the Cabo Verde and São Tomé Islands became major suppliers of captive labor for the New World. Shift to West Central Africa. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Portuguese slave traders turned their attention to West Central Africa, particularly Angola, where they target Hebrews of Congo. A bilateral and direct route was established between the port of Luanda and later Benguela and Brazil, where approximately 10,000 enslaved people were sent annually. East African markets. By the second half of the 18th century, East African markets also began supplying enslaved Hebrews to the transatlantic devastation. While the Portuguese black Israelites' specific role in this history is complex, it underscores the interconnectedness of trade, colonization, and human suffering during this era. Follow the Forefront Radio for more.